Hello everyone, it's me Aika, and today we will be talking about visa screening. So without further ado, let's get started. Visa screening is when an organization like CGFNS or Visa for Nurses ensure the compliance of a foreign nurse or any other healthcare workers with the minimum standard of the United States. Right now, there are two organizations that evaluate and verify your credentials to give you a visa screening certificate. It's either you avail it from CGFNS Incorporated or Visa for Nurses. However, CGFNS is more advantageous because it is accepted by all the states in America. Meanwhile, the visa for nurses, it is still new and not all states recognize it because it's a brand new organization for them. So it is better to ask your case manager if they accept a visa for nurses before availing their services. Although this visa for nurses is cheaper than the CGFNS. Visa for nurses only costs $500 while CGFNS costs $615. And right now there is a long queue in CGFNS, so it is taking forever for the evaluation. Compared to the visa for nurses, it is very fast right now because it is still new. By the way, I forgot to mention that the visa screening certificate is actually required when you have your embassy or immigration interview. So it is a requirement in order for a foreign nurse or an alien worker have a temporary visa or permanent residency in the United States of America. So in my case, I started having my credentials and documents evaluated by the CGFNS as early as I signed my offer letter from my employer. So I decided to have it processed earlier because I don't want to have pressure sooner or later. As we all know, IELTS is definitely required to have the visa screen certificate, and whether we like it or not, IELTS is harder than the NCLEX itself. Although it was not required by my employer, as I have mentioned earlier before this vlog that I was a direct hire. But I think other employers require their applicants or their foreign nurses to have this visa screen certificate prior to application or interview. Anyway, this is how I started. So I have been given a year to comply with the requirement. So a visa screen certificate is valid for only 5 years. So you need to have your embassy interview or you need to fly to the US for 5 years. If you fail to do so, then you will have to go through again the same process. You will do back to zero. So that is how a visa screen certificate works. So I will show you the portal of the CGFNS, and then we'll have to fill up the necessary information, mostly personal information. And then you will have to wait for 2 to 3 days, I think, before you get your CGFNS ID. So this is my CGFNS account dashboard, but I covered my CGFNS ID for security purposes. And then on my profile, you can see on the left part the information that you need to provide. Just a reminder, make sure that what you type in there or what you input is right and nothing is error or misspelled, because once you submitted it, you cannot edit anymore. In order to purchase a VS, go to the shopping cart and look for the Visa Credentials Assessment or the VS, which costs $615. Then tick the box before it, then proceed to the payment. So I cannot show you anymore the actual because I have not recorded it way back April. After 2 to 3 days, when you already have your CGFNS ID, you can start requesting for your candidate report or your license in the US. Upon login, look for My Examinations. If you just purchased, all of these are all in red, which means further actions required. So the first thing that I requested was my candidate report from the NCSBN through the NYZ website. It is because I applied for my NCLEX at New York State. Then click Contact Us. It will lead you to this page. Under Select Your Topic category, choose Verify a NYS License. On the bottom part, select the certification and verification form. After you selected that, this will show. Just tick yes. Technically, your candidate report will not be sent personally to you, so provide the address of CGFNS and it will be automatically sent to them. On the license's signature part, just fill in your full name and then tick the attestation. Then it will lead you to the payment page. I always use my Visa for this international payment. Make sure you do a screenshot for this confirmation, then take note of your transaction ID. You should pay $20, not $10. It does not end there though. We need to do the Contact Us again. We will select the same topic, but this time we will proceed to the Submit. We will not click the certification and verification form. On On this page, just provide the necessary details. Select your profession, which is Registered Professional Nursing, and type your license number. So this time, we will submit a question, so make sure that it is followed up immediately by your first form after you paid, and make sure that you did it 9 p.m. onwards Philippine time. This was my question. Good day, I have requested a certification to be sent to CGFNS and paid $20. However, I would like to request an NCSBN NCLEX candidate report. Please see attached photo, my transaction ID, my NCSBN ID, my license number. Thank you. And this was my attachment. By the way, I forgot to mention that I have already uploaded a photo that is required, and here are the guidelines. It should be passport style and it is for official CGFNS purposes. On your VS certificate, this photo will be attached. You can view the guidelines by going to your dashboard, then upload applicant photo. So your image must have an equal height and width. Do not sign the photo and it should be taken within the last 6 months. It should be colored but your background must be white. To make sure that your picture will be right, just screenshot this part and show this to your photographer. Then let's proceed to the academic requirements. Secondary school documents are waived, so let's proceed to the higher tertiary education. You will need the transcript validation form. Under the forms, you can click the request for academic records. A transcript validation form looks like this. It is a customized form, so it is exclusive for the applicant. This is page 2. It's all about you and your school. Page 3 is all about the specific theory and clinical hours for all nursing domains in your school. The last page is all about your record in that school, and the school registrar will need to sign here, as well as a school stamp or seal will be attached in this box. So after almost 2 months, I have had trouble in this area. The CGFNS claimed that the signature was invalid. Well, it was because the registrar who signed in my document was not the same to the previous years compared to the other applicants from my school. So make sure that you provide the right email address of your school, because in cases like the signature or the stamp will become invalid, CGFNS will contact the school and validate the information submitted. You will not need to submit the transcript validation form again, but the CGFNS will contact your school. Along with this, your TOR will be attached and sent to CGFNS. Your school must be the sender or else it will be invalidated. Mine was inside a white envelope with the return address of the school, and at the back, there was also a stamp of the school and it was signed by the registrar. After education, I processed my license validation form at PRC. The process is pretty much the same with the transcript validation form, which is downloadable on the right side. So this was my form and it was exclusive for my use only. This is the page 1, my details was printed on it. On the next page, you have nothing to write because it will be the responsibility of the PRC, as well as the third page. So I booked an appointment in the PRC website for state board verification and I paid 75 pesos for it. And then I paid 2,000 for the DHL or the courier fee. The requirements for this step were TOR and a copy of the PRC ID. Actually, I processed it at PRC Baguio and then they instructed me to send the soft copy of my validation form. So the same day, I emailed it to them. Tracking numbers are posted on their website the following Monday of the processing week. Now that I'm done with my order requirements, I will proceed to my examinations. I have taken IELTS Academic on August 21st and 3 results were available on August 25th. To forward my TRF to CGFNS, I logged into the test taker portal and selected search for your result. Here's my band score. However, the only required score for US is overall band score of 6.5 and speaking of 7.0. Under the score explanation, you can see the please note. If you need another copy of your TRF form, just go to the link. It will lead you to this page. Actually, the additional TRF is free of charge. Results are forwarded to the institutions or organization every 15th or every end of the month. Anyway, just click the application for additional TRF. After that, I receive an email with an attachment. This is the attachment. Just fill it up and reply to the same email. I forwarded this TRF request form on the 27th. The next step is to log into your CGFNS account. Go to my profile and then look for the English language proficiency test. By the way, I have completed it already, so I cannot provide you the right screenshot. Anyway, there are other tests that can be accepted aside from IELTS, TOEFL, IBT, TOEIC, CE, MET, OET, and PTE. So yes, just go to English Language Proficiency, then add test record. This box will pop up. Just fill in the necessary details: test name, IELTS, test date, in my case, August 21, 2022, and then my TRF, form number. Then you also need to provide the date when you requested for the TRF. Don't forget to click submit afterwards. This is for IELTS though, I'm not sure how you do it on other examinations. After you submitted everything, you just need to wait until everything turns green like this. By the way, just a tip, don't just wait for everything to turn green. You can always contact them through their contact us form or just call their customer service number. To contact them, go to my messages, then click contact us. For a faster communication, you can call them at this number, 9 p.m. Philippine time sharp onwards. By the way, here's my timeline. I purchased the VS on April 21st for $615. I started by requesting a candidate report through the NYSED. I paid $20 for it on April 25th and it was approved on April 28th. On May 10th, CGFNS mailroom received my academic requirements, which I paid $1,840 for it from my school, including the courier fee. Unfortunately, on the 14th of July, it says that it has been rejected because a valid signature was not provided. I informed my school and they wait for CGFNS to contact them. It was only approved on August 30. Meanwhile, my PRC requirements were received by CGFNS on May 31. I spent a total of $2,075 for it and it was approved on June 14. I took my IELTS on 21st of August, then the results was out on 25th. Then I requested for a TRF on 27th of August and it got approved on 31st of the same month. I spent a total of $11,990 for the computer-based academic. I completed all the required documents by September 2. My visa screening certificate was issued on September 6. I received it from the mail on September 9. Overall, I spent more or less 51,000 pesos. It took me a little more than 4 months before my visa screen was issued. So this is how a visa screen certificate looks like. That's all for visa screening. I will attach all the necessary links on the description, so make sure you check it. Bye!